up, my Ludawinis? Welcome in to episode 2 of LudaCast. There's no way.
Yeah. Luda, no.
Can we even keep that in? I am stoked. I'm so happy, dude. I genuinely am so just excited and happy to be starting this podcast. I know last episode you guys gave it so much love, and I really truly appreciate that because it's something I felt pulled to. Like I said, it's something that I really wanted to make work, and I wasn't sure. Like I had hope, but like I wasn't sure, like, you know, what the response would be. And you guys loved it, and I'm so happy. And I constantly want to just get better at it and more comfortable with it. So as always, we have a Discord, and we have a little section of like topics you want me to talk about and stuff. So if there's anything you want me to talk about, anything you want to discuss, maybe some fun ideas, always let me know. I want to always continue to get better and best myself. So I really appreciate all of the love on the last episode. And again, thank you, Mr. Chris, for joining us because that was so fun. It was so fun. And I love, dude, I love the sassy side of Mr. Chris. He's a little character, and I love him. Unless he wasn't a character and he truly was just sassy, you know, maybe that's him. But I'm here alone. Lonely. No. I'm not lonely. Well, what's that thing? It's okay. No. I can't get sidetracked already. I'm here alone, joined today by me and myself and you guys. I'm excited and nervous. It's my first episode alone. I know that to me, it's just the same as streaming almost. I just don't have a chat on the side that I'm reading. And so I feel comfortable. I feel natural. I feel like I'm in my natural habitat, but I'm sure there's still a little bit of nerves to get out. There's still a little bit of anxiety to get rid of. So these first episodes will be just me and you guys learning how to do this together. But yeah, I'm super excited. And I know that some people are new. Some people don't know who I am or have no clue what Ludawissy is. Some people think Luda is my real name, which, I mean, you can call me Luda. I do go by Luda, but it technically isn't even my real name. So some people don't even know who I am. And as much as I really wanted to make this episode be about reading funny stories from you guys, I was like, man, I probably should like introduce myself. It's like we just met and I introduced my friend. And then I was like, so anyways, yesterday, you guys are like, wait, what's your name? I didn't get your name. I know nothing about you. So I guess I should probably start, you know, a little bit from the beginning. And even some people that do know me, like I know some of you guys have been watching my streams or just following the band and stuff. And so I know some of you guys know me, but there's even things that I feel like not everyone knows. So I thought it'd be really sweet to kind of document where my life is at now. And then in the future, I could do one of these and then be like, yo, new update. That's not who I am anymore. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But so yeah, I wanted to introduce myself and for you guys to get to know me, get to know who Luda is, and go from there. That way you know who's talking, you know? Could be a psychopath killer. You guys were listening. You're like, this girl's great. And then you learn I'm a psychopath killer and you're like, I gotta skedaddle. Although some of you might stay. Some of you guys are, I don't know, the people who watch true crime stuff, I'm questionable about you guys. Why do you like listening about people murdering each other? It's questionable. But I don't know, I guess I can kind of start from the beginning and then go from there, and anything that I think of, I'll add in. So it might be a little scattered, but I'll try my best to stay on track. I don't have anything to go off of. I'm just going off my memory. And I hope that that's enough because it is me. But like technically I could also forget things. So if I forget things, I'm sure I'll do another episode talking about myself, because who doesn't like to talk about themselves? Like, come on. I actually really don't. But it's like hit or miss. You know, sometimes you're like, I want to brag about myself. And sometimes you're like, don't talk to me. So don't pick on me, please. I'm not raising my hand. All right, so my name's Luda. Technically, my real name's Lulu. Technically, that's a nickname, but I go by Lulu, or Luda, and I'm 18 years old. I started drumming when I was 4. Drumming is kind of the main thing I did for most of my life. Kind of the main thing. No, not kind of. Is the main thing I did for most of my life. I started drumming when I was 4, and it was what started the path of life that I'm on now. I made a band with my sisters. I didn't make it. first and foremost. My parents were like, you guys should play together. You guys should make a little band together. And it was super fun. And we played little covers. And we probably played like Veggie Tales. And we're dope. Um, but it was super fun. And we just did covers for a little bit. And I used to do so many different hobbies because our parents wanted us to try everything, because thankfully they did that, because we got to see what we did like and what we didn't like. So I did dance. I know a lot of people don't even know I was a dancer. I did ballet and tap dance for a while. And I kind of wish I would have kind of done ballet a little more, because I'm also 5'10". A lot of people don't know that either, because you see me on stream and you're like, man, she's short. I'm not. I'm 5'10". And I kind of wish I would have stayed with ballet, because I feel like I have the what physique, is that what it is? I don't think that's the word, but sure, we'll use that word. For I don't know what's like, I don't know, because like tall people play basketball and volleyball, and I've been told I should do that too. I don't know, but part of me wishes I would have stayed with dance. It was super fun, and I might get back into it at one point. But I did that. I did jujitsu, which is martial arts, and Krav Maga, which is self-defense. And so I can literally defend myself. I was gonna say other stuff, but I don't want to make jokes that when you can't see me on video, you're like, so she is a psychopath killer. Sick. So yeah, that was super fun. I did that for a lot of my life, and I'm very glad that our parents got us into that, because I feel safe with myself, you know? I don't feel like I have to rely on someone to protect me, because I know how to protect myself, and I'm so happy, because this world's scary. But yeah, we did that for a lot of our lives. We did tournaments with it. I won a lot of samurai swords. I never got first place in expert, which is where you get the belt. I did expert once, and I got my butt handed to, and kind of, okay, let's like go back for a second. Bro did an illegal move. Let me show you right now. He like took me down. So there's called takedowns. So he took me down. Oh, I hit my mic. He took me down, and he like put his like elbow into my ribs, which is an illegal move. You're not allowed to do that, because anything that would literally harm you to where you can't fight back is just like illegal. Obviously, it ruins the fun. Hello. Homie did that to me when I was like little. We were both little, but I was like little. And so they had to call the medics over and everything. I could barely breathe. And then they're like, she's fine. Get back in there. So I think I should have had at least another chance at the belt. But anyways, I never won a belt. I won a bunch of swords. Jiu-jitsu was really, really fun. I don't do it anymore. I do it every so often, but I'm not in it as much as I was before. It was super fun. Dude, we used to have like Nerf gun fights at the end of every month in the dojo, whatever you want to call it. I know it was called something else, I think, but on the mat. We always called it the mat. So on the mat, we would have Nerf gun fights, and that was super, super fun. I just unlocked a memory I forgot about. I started crying. I'm like, I want to go back. So I did that a lot of my life as well. And technically, on the kind of Christian side of my life, I got saved at 5. I specifically remember sitting on my bed. We had bunk beds, and my mom and dad were sitting there, and I asked them about God, and I asked them, I remember I was just like, what is everything, like, we learn about it, but like, what does it actually mean? And my dad walked me through it. I remember he wrote on a piece of paper, me and my family sitting there, and then a giant pit, and then there was another like little rock kind of thing, and there was a person, and in the bottom there was fire. My dad said, like, this is us on earth, and that's Jesus in heaven, and down there is hell. And he was like, I don't want you to be fearful, but it is a real place, and we can't get to heaven on our own. And then he drew a cross sideways, and he was like, Jesus is our bridge to heaven, and you believe that he came and died for you, and he rose 3 days later, and you repent from your sins. It doesn't mean you're going to become perfect. It doesn't mean that you're never going to mess up. It just means that you get up and you try again, and you try to do better. And that's how we get to heaven. And I remember then I told my dad, and I was like, I want to be saved. Like, I want to spend eternity with heaven. And from there, they told me that I could go to like make the decision, like, for sure, with my pastor. And so I personally believe that there on my bed, I could have gotten saved. I think that when I went to the pastor, he walked me through a prayer. But I remember even as a kid, I was like, I don't even know half these words you're saying, dude. Like, what? This is not the simple thing that they told me. So I don't know. I don't know if I was actually saved then. I don't know what decision I had actually made, but I'll talk about it a little later. Growing up, I definitely doubted it a bunch, just if I was saved or not, because I had made the decision so young and I wasn't sure if it actually was mine or not. So that's kind of the time frame of when my faith also started there. But I attended the church my entire life. Our parents always brought us. It was just kind of the thing we did. And also school wise, I was in school till I was in sixth grade. So I went through everything. I didn't always have a lot of friends. I had a couple friends growing up. And I did enjoy people. It's just I felt so weird. Like as a kid, I felt like the kid that no one wanted to be friends with. And I wanted friends, but I didn't like any of the people that were there. So I was like, who is the best out of all these people that I could maybe befriend? And I always made friends with guys growing up. I felt more related to them. I played video games growing up. I did jujitsu. Like we played drums. I didn't fit with a lot of the girls there, so it was always odd. And then in fifth and sixth grade, I actually did get bullied growing up. Not to make it like a sob story or anything, but I definitely did get bullied in fifth and sixth grade, and it was just really dumb. And it was by girls. Surprise, surprise. It was by a bunch of girls actually. None of the girls liked me. A lot of girls got mad that I was friends with the dudes, and I was like, bro, I'm not even trying to like date these guys. Which, first of all, why are sixth graders worried about dating people? Anyways, I just want friends to play Xbox with. Like, I'm not trying to get in the middle of this. And I got people so mad at me for no reason. But yeah, I got bullied growing up, and actually in sixth grade ended up with people getting expelled because they started like fake punching me behind my back and like trying to trip me and stuff like that. It was like stupid stuff that now me would be so over it instantly and be like, you guys are so dumb. But as a sixth grader, it is taken more seriously because they're like, oh, they're like kind of getting close to threatening you or hurting you, so we have to get them out. So the person actually ended up getting suspended for like 5 years from the school, which like, sorry, homie. But it got pretty serious. And then in sixth grade, I actually went homeschool. That's when the band started to actually take off, and we were not just a cover band anymore. We were playing cruise ships and like all this stuff. We were still like, we sucked. Like it was bad. We were little kiddos playing music, but people loved it. People loved listening to little kids suck. I don't know why. But yeah, we played a bunch of shows and from Craigslist, and it was a real lot of jank places. And now that I think about it, it was probably not the safest to bring little kids. But we had fun and we enjoyed it. So in sixth grade, or after sixth grade, I went homeschooled, and it was the first time that I had ever done that. And I was really scared because I had always done regular school. So it was very frightening to go to teaching myself, but I ended up personally loving it. So if there's anything you get out of this, get that homeschool's not that bad. Because I ended up being able to do all of my work instantly and then getting the whole day to myself. Growing up, we weren't allowed to play video games during the week. We were only allowed to play on the weekends. So I'd get all of my schoolwork done, and I'd always ask, hey, can I play video games? And they'd be like, it's a weekday. No. So I'd be like, sick. I'm going to go sit on my bed. Play my DS under my blankets. Sorry, mom and dad. But, yeah, so we did homeschool, and it was very simple. And I really enjoyed it. I do know that for a couple years of school, I most definitely got into Minecraft because of Stampy Cat and Technoblade. And I would play Hypixel. And I would literally play Minecraft instead of doing school. And I stopped doing school up to a point to where they literally emailed my mom and they were like, yo, your kid hasn't done school for 30 days. We're gonna drop her if she doesn't do it. And my mom asked me, and I was like, huh, weird. That's so weird because I literally remember doing school the other day. So that was the whole thing. I got Minecraft taken away from me. A bunch of nerds growing up. But it was fun to be able to play Minecraft, not gonna lie, instead of doing school. But do school, but it was fun. I went through a huge Minecraft phase. That's not the only game I played growing up. My first game, actually, my dad got me into it, was Left 4 Dead. And my mom, we weren't allowed to play video games because my dad plays scary games. And my mom was like, no, you're not doing that to our kids. And everyone left one day. And my dad played Left 4 Dead. And he was like, I need a buddy, Lou. promise me you won't get scared. And I was like, I promise, dude. Give me that controller. I promise I won't get scared, dude. I promise. I'm not scared at all. Ended up crying and sleeping with them that night because of nightmares, but it got me into games. So I'm very glad that my dad did that. And then we played a bunch of like hockey games growing up, zombies, Black Ops, all of them, all the DLCs. It was super fun. It was a really great way we connected, me and my sisters, with my dad, and then with my cousins we would play all the time. And it was really, really fun. And it's kind of what, not even kind of, it is what got me into gaming. So I will always appreciate my +1 of my dad. Or I was his +1 growing up and playing games with him. It was super, super, super fun. And we always played the 360. We played the Nintendo 64, I believe. When we would camp, we played old Mario and Megamind. Those are some games we would play. And when we would camp, it was super fun. There were a bunch of retro games. I still wish that we would play them today. But it's just hard because the graphics are so sucky. And we're like, how do we enjoy this? But it does give you that nostalgia vibe. Anyways, so I did the homeschool. The band started to pick up and we would start touring. We actually went on our first tour in 2016, I believe, would be the first time I went on tour. I don't even know what that makes me. 12, 13. I'm not going to sit here and do the math. I haven't done math in years. But we went on tour and I actually met my best friends on that tour. We made a little thing called the Hoodie Gang and I'm still best friends with them today. We are literally the same people, just opposite gender and a different family. It is like me and my two sisters, copy and pasted. But they're absolute angels and I love them. And that tour was super fun. And as a kid, it was like, this is Candyland 24/7. I get to play my drums. I get to go on stage. I get to hang out with friends. I've never had friends, you know? Growing up, I wasn't allowed to have sleepovers or have people over or go over to people's places. So I was like, oh, what is this? This is glorious, you know? It was super fun. And now, you know, I'm an adult. Technically, dude, I don't see myself as an adult, but I'm an adult and I get to hang out with them all the time. So it's super fun. But yeah, the tours were super fun. Got to meet a bunch of people. It was really cool to see. It was cool to see that the music was helping people. Even when I was that young, I didn't fully understand what people meant. But we would always be told, like, hey, your music, like, saved my life. And growing up, I was like, that's cool. Like, it saved your life, but I don't know what you mean by that. But, like, cool, but I don't know what you mean. So I think that kind of also plays into a thing I'll touch on later. But we did hear a lot of stories. And it really sucked as a kid to hear stories from people of all the hurt that they go through. And I was like, I feel so bad, but I don't know what to do, you know? Like, I can't help them. And I'm a helper. If someone comes to me and they're like, hey, this happened, I want to be like, how can I help you? No, how can I make it better? How can I work in this situation to put a smile on your face? And I wasn't able to do that. And I would never speak to those people again, you know? They come to a show, you don't talk to them again. So that was really hard as a kid to hear those things and not be able to help them. But we did the band for quite some time, did school and all that. And then I also went through a pretty rough time of my life. If you have any issues with mental health or eating, maybe skip a little bit from here, just because I am going to talk a little bit about what I went through and dealt with, and I don't want to trigger anyone's emotions or feelings or mental health issues. So please, please, please take care of yourself and skip a little bit. But when I was 14, 15, in the middle of there somewhere, I kind of try to block it out. But I did go through some sucky mental health stuff, which a lot of people dismiss teenagers' mental health, and it sucks because it's like you say, act like an adult. And then when they deal with adult things, you say, why are you trying to act like an adult? And also, it's not even an adult thing. It's literally like kids can deal with mental health issues. We live in an evil world. There's going to be evil. So anyway, I went through an eating disorder called anorexia. And I first got into like health and stuff, and I tiptoed into it, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Cause I was short. I was very short growing up. I did not grow tall for a long time. And so I always saw people, and I don't know if it was the bullying that got to me, or I just didn't really have a lot of control of my life because we were just torn all the time, and I didn't get to decide, what I did or where I go or who I talked to. I don't know what it was. Probably a bunch of things combined. It doesn't really matter because it's gone now. But I went through and started getting into health and working out, and then that eventually turned into obsessing over it and controlling things and controlling how I looked. And it got really, really bad, and it really messed with my mental health because now that I'm at my age and I've studied things, food and water genuinely go together with your body for a reason, and they genuinely run a lot in your body. So if you're ever feeling like bleh, maybe try drinking some water or eating some good foods. I'm not saying it'll fix everything. I'm not saying that, but it could help a tiny, tiny little bit. So restricting your food and not eating at that young of an age not only stunts your growth, it also stunts your brain, and it messes with your brain. And because it was anorexia, an eating disorder, it really affected my organs and my bones, and it got really bad. And it got to the point where I was like passing out and getting really dizzy and faint, and they would check my heart, and it was really odd because I don't think any of the doctors ever said anything. They always just said, oh, like she's growing, like it's usual for kids to drop weight this fast. I don't get it. I personally don't understand why the doctors never say anything. At that time, I was like, thank goodness, like in my little sick brain. But thinking of it now, I'm like, dude, I wonder if they said anything. I just didn't hear about it, or I don't know. But so yeah, it got really bad, and my mental health got really bad. And I just remember getting really away from the church because our first church we went to, they made fun of us for the band, and they called us the devil because we played metal music, and it just really sucked. And I was like, this is odd. I don't like this. Bye. So we stopped going to that church, and I stopped going to church kind of in general. I'd read my Bible every so often, and I'd pray sometimes, and I just got really, really away from God. And so it really felt like I was all alone. And even with my friends that I had, I just felt very disconnected from the world. And it's so odd that at that age I felt that. And I know a lot of people don't think that's possible. A lot of people think, oh, kids just feel it for attention. They're just making it up, blah, 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 this or that. I can promise you from my point of view, it wasn't made up. I would sit in my closet and I would just draw and express myself through my drawings. And they were really like explicit drawings because I just felt so much pain and loneliness in my life. And I didn't know what to do. I was like, am I really going to just starve myself to death? I was like, am I going to just end up dying at some point? Or I don't know what's going to happen. And part of my brain was okay with that. Part of my brain was like, okay, like I don't really enjoy life right now, so that'd be fine. And it was just very like careless with life, not caring what happened, not caring, kind of just the whole like stop looking both ways, stop wearing your seatbelt, like not caring what you eat, not caring anything. And it took my parents actually being like, hey, like you have an issue and we are going to talk about it because this is like you need help. And I think actually I came to my parents. I think I told them a little bit about it. I was like, yeah, I think I might have an issue. And they're like, yeah, let's talk about this. Like we need to discuss this. And it took a really long time of recovering and going through a lot of change and going through a lot of hurt, honestly, like relearning how to treat myself and treat myself in a healthy way and take care of the temple that God blessed me with. And that's another thing. My brother actually invited us to his preaching. He wanted to preach at his church, or I don't know if it counts as preaching. I don't know what it did. He invited us. And at the time, of course, I was like, it's boring. I don't want to go. And I was like, fine, I'll go. I'll support my brother, whatever. So we went, and I remember it was in November. Oh, that's so sweet. Aw, it's November. That's so sweet. But I mean, at least at the time we're recording this. Anyways, that's just a sweet little thing. But I remember it was in November, and we went, and I don't know what he taught about. I don't know what he preached about. But I remember sitting there and crying to myself during the service and being like, I want to come back to God. I just felt very much so like God was like, here, like, come to me, come to me. And like I had said earlier, growing up, I had always been so afraid I wasn't saved. so afraid that the hell people talked about, the eternity away from God they talked about, so afraid I would end up there. And I would literally like cry myself to sleep all the time because I'd be like, God, please, I want to be saved. I want to be saved. I want to be saved. You know, like it was very, I don't know why. I don't know why my brain acted as such or thought as such. But I was really afraid I wasn't saved. And so that day I was like, God, like I hear you. Like I want to give you control. I'm done controlling my life. Obviously, I can't do it. Like I'm here in a spot where I don't even care if I'm alive right now. Like I genuinely don't want to be. So obviously me being in control is not okay. Like I'm doing a really bad job. So anyways, so I was like, God, you do it. I'm giving my life to you. And I count it as rededicating my life to God because again, I'm not sure if I actually got saved at 5 because I remember it so much. I feel like maybe part of it I was saved, or maybe it was just a little seed planted in my little being heart and it led to that moment. But I was just like, I accept you as in control and I want to have that relationship with you, God, because I don't want to just come to church and mark it on my box. I don't just want to read the Bible and mark it on my box. Like I don't want to say, oh, I'm a Christian, like ding. Like I want to actually have a friend. Like I want to talk to you. I want to have you by my side. And I remember that day I just gave up control to God and I was like, please, like please help me because I am obviously struggling and I need your help because I don't want anyone else's help. Like everyone else has tried to help and I don't want it. So please, like help me. And it didn't get better instantly. But that is the time that my parents found out and they started helping me and I didn't end up going anywhere or seeing anyone for it, but they did help me. My dad used to be a bodybuilder, so he actually helped me with the food part and was like, hey, this is how we take care of our bodies. And I know you really like working out, but you also have to provide for your body and give it nutrients. So he helped me with that part. And I got more involved with my family and because I had cut everyone out. I had thrown all my stuff away, cut everyone out. Like I literally had a bed in my room and that was it. And so I started putting more things in my room and getting more comfortable of being in this world because I was like, I'm not leaving this world. So I'm going to get comfortable again because I'm here to stay and I want to be here. And so through that time of my life, God really is the thing that pulled me out of it. And I don't want to say that, you know, God will immediately fix your issues because he won't. We live in an evil world. It is not how it works. But he was the only place I found pure peace. And he was the only place I found like a worthwhile reason to be alive. You know, he was my purpose. It was not to be a drummer. It was not to tour. It was to be his. And that was enough. And it was the first time I felt like I'm enough for someone, you know? I don't have to work for this. I don't have to be someone I'm not. Like God loves me for who I am and he's going to help me through this. And so I think that that's one of the reasons I am so loud about God because I was there. I was in that moment. People don't think kids can be there, teens can be there. I was there. Like I don't know how much more to say it. God truly was the person who brought me out of it. And my friends were there to help me. And I remember talking to my friends all the time and they would, you know, check up on me and be like, hey, like, what'd you do today? And they were really, really sweet about it. So after that kind of time period, about a year or so, started touring again and doing school. And life kind of went on as usual. And I always found it a little odd. And I know that people don't want to focus and like harbor on things. But I was like, man, I really just poured my heart out to all these people. And kind of told them I didn't really want to be live. And now we're just going to eat dinner together. I always find it so like silly, you know? But so life kind of went on and we went on tours and played not games, we played shows and it was super fun. And it wasn't, I feel like it kind of was the same until about a year ago, 2 years ago. Which I guess that kind of is in the time period because that happened a couple years ago as well. Anyways, I'm getting lost in the story. I forgot the story was about me for a second. I was like, wait, what am I saying? So yeah, a couple years ago, we not even a couple years ago. That was this year. Wait, hold the phone. That was last year. Okay. I thought my life was flashing before my eyes for a second. Last year, beep, 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 beep. Last year, I turned 18. No, I did not. Dude, I turned 18 this year. I'm so confused with my life. Last year I was 17. Anyways. And I started streaming. I started streaming October 1st, 2021, I believe. Yes. And it was honestly one of the best decisions of my life. I had always wanted to stream. And growing up, I watched gamers, Stampede, Techno, like I said. I also watched Valkyrie and Pokimane and like offline TV. I watched them a bunch. I watched 100 Thieves a bunch. I loved gamers. I loved watching them play live. I was like, this is so sick. I literally, okay, not to like do my own horn here, but I watched Valkyrie when she had like 2,000 viewers on YouTube. When she switched over, I watched her on Twitch a little bit, but when she was on YouTube, I watched her at like 2,000 viewers. And I literally clipped parts where she would say, hi, Lulu. Like she'd be like, hi, Lulu. And I was like, clip it. She said my name. So I feel like a little bit of a stalker because I did that at times, but that's okay because she never has to know that. Anyways, I loved watching them growing up, and I was like, I want to do that, dude. I would film videos growing up. I asked for a camera one year, and I asked for a YouTube channel too, but they were like, no, you're too young. You're not doing that. But I would film videos of myself. I still have them. No, I'm not going to put them out. They're very cringy. Sorry, Past Lulu, but they were very cringy of me making little plays and acting in videos or doing challenges. I would create content. Like I created actual content. I would edit it together. I did hauls. I did all that. I would show my family. They'd laugh. And I'd be embarrassed and I'd delete everything. So I have some videos, but most of them I deleted because I would be so embarrassed. I was like, delete. Stupid, you know? So I always did content, and I didn't realize how much I really wanted to do it until I started. And I streamed for like 5 hours the first time, and I was like, oh, this is it. This is incredible. This is so amazing. I had played in Germany before, like literally played drums in front of thousands at Germany. I'd played sold out shows before, again, thousands over here in the US. And streaming, being like, oh, they're saying hi to me. I'm playing a game and they're watching me. Like that was one of like the coolest moments. And I know a lot of people would be like, you literally got a tattoo in Germany at 14. Like that's a big deal. And I'm not saying it's not a big deal. And it is up there on my list of like coolest things ever. Getting a tattoo at 14 in Germany is up there on the list. Don't get me wrong. But streaming is just so like fulfilling. You know, it's so like, I just feel like I'm in my nature. I'm in my like, yeah, I'm meant to do this. So that was really, really cool when I did that. And I started then, I started streaming and I started at zero. You know, I had done the band GFM my whole life, and I was used to bigger numbers. I was used to thousands. I was used to hundreds, and going to zero, starting my own stuff was so fun. And I know a lot of people be like, you psychopath? Like what? But it was so fun to start over, start from zero and watch the number grow. And I truly don't care how many followers I have. I don't care if this podcast, no one ever hears it. Genuinely, if I could listen back to it and be like, oh, she sounds so silly, dude. I'll be happy. So I never cared about like how many there were. It was just so fun to be like, oh, there's a new person here. Hi, welcome. So I started streaming last year and I did it. And then we toured. We got the tour with Fozzy this year. And we went on tour in, I believe, March, was it? Was it March? And that I did drum cams on it. I would stream me playing drums every night. And at first it was literally just phone quality. And I noticed a lot of people joining. And I was like, oh snap, this is like growing kind of a lot. Because I didn't plan on it going anywhere. Truthfully, I knew it would because I felt it. I was like, this is what I'm meant to do, guys. This is it. I feel it. But I didn't expect it to like go anywhere soon. I was like, I'll probably sit at like 300 followers for a little. And the numbers started going up, and I was like, oh my goodness, it's odd. Like the average viewers started going up, and I was like, interesting. I'm a little nervous. And I found it so fun to interact with you guys while I was drumming on stage. It brought a new life to drumming that I had never experienced before. And not that it had gotten stale, it was just like, oh, this is a new thing. Like this is fun. And Mr. Isaac, actually, who, a little sneak peek, he will be on next week's or 2 weeks from episode. But he actually is the next guest, yeah. And he actually gave me a little sound thingy-majiggy, and it made the audio 10 times better, and people loved it, and they joined, and they were like, this is sick. And it boosted my streaming and just the Ludawissy thing so much, and it boosted my TikTok a lot as well. And it was really cool. And I also had one of my biggest TikToks I'd ever posted at the time on the tour bus. That was our first time on a tour bus, by the way, and it was amazing. It was really cool. And it was one of my biggest ones. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, what is happening? This is actually kind of becoming something, and I'm scared. But it was sick. It was a moment I'll always remember of being on that tour, and all the people on there were really nice, and meeting everyone from Frozzy and all the other bands as well. It was really sweet, and it was really cool. And I got to do a lot of like vlogs and stuff for Ludawissy, which was fun too. But at that time, I actually started to deal a lot with more mental health issues, which at the time I was like, great. I literally just went through all this stuff a couple years ago. Why am I going through it again? But this time, I got a different version. Yay! I started to deal with anxiety, which I didn't, I'll be honest, growing up, hearing about it, I was like, just don't worry. Duh. But when you're in it, it's torture. Truthfully, it is one of the worst things I've ever dealt with. And unfortunately, actually I think it started more than just on that tour. It actually started last year. Not this time last year, but like last year, I noticed a very big burnout. We sat at the merch table for about 7 hours at one show, and I noticed like so many people were coming to us and talking to us, and we were hearing such dark things, and we invited people to please come like talk to us. We would love to help you. We'd love to pray with you or just be there to listen. And it was a lot. It was a lot for a 17-year-old to hear. And I ended up crying at the merch table. I had to leave. And that night I felt so empty and I felt so burnt. And I was like, I haven't felt like this ever. This is odd. I was like, maybe I'll just go away. And the next day we had a show, and it's like, all right, put the smile on, like, go play the show. And I was like, I'm still burnt. This is odd. I have never felt this. And it didn't go away, and it never went away. And so that's why, like, up to that tour, I kind of just learned to live around it, I guess. I was like, all right, this is how I feel, I guess, now. Puberty. Like, all right, sick. This is how I feel now. And I realized it was very heightened when we would go on tour, and I actually had a lot of panic attacks in the bus, and I would just sit in my bunk, and it was close to like every night I would just have a panic attack or anxiety attacks, and it really sucked, and I didn't know what it was. I had no clue. I was like, what is happening? Am I dying? I was like, am I literally dying on this tour? I'm going to be able to say I died on a tour bus. Sick. No. I was like, what is happening to me? I'm a little nervous and scared. And I couldn't sleep at all. I was getting 2 to 3 hours of sleep a night. Some days or nights, I wouldn't sleep at all. I'd go 24 hours of being awake, and then I'd like sleep for like 3 hours, 4 hours, and then eventually one night I would just crash, and I'd get about 8 hours. And it'd start the cycle again of like 2 hours, 3 hours. I think it was actually before the tour I got testing done, or after the tour. I don't remember when I got the testing done, but it was becoming a very big issue. My schoolwork was slacking. I was like, all right, this is not okay. Like, I don't feel okay. And I'm not going to do what I did last time, which was try to do it alone. Like, I'm smarter than that. So let me go get some help. Let me go see if someone can figure out what's wrong. And I ended up taking hours of testing and all of that. And they diagnosed me with generalized anxiety disorder. But they also told me, like, hey, you scoring, a lot of the times we see this as ADHD, but you scored a little bit more higher with the anxiety. So we're going to class it all as anxiety. And if you want to come back and get tested for ADHD, we'll class you with ADHD too, basically. So I was like, dope. So you basically just told me I have ADHD and anxiety. Go figure it out. Have fun. Sick. Fun. All right. And I also went and saw a therapist. They had me go see one. Worst ever of my life. That my first therapist. It was a kid one too, because I was 17. Couldn't do anything about it. That was before the tour, because I turned 18 on the tour. So that was before the tour, and awful. Literally one of the most, like, no joke, one of the most anxious moments of my life. Felt very belittled, and I was very vulnerable with the person, and I felt just like mocked. And it even was so bad that I can't do breathing exercises anymore. Because truthfully, I know a lot of people will be like, this sounds so dumb, but truthfully, like, it brings me back to that moment, and I get very anxious. So I can't even do breathing exercises anymore, because of how bad the first experience with the therapist was. So going on the tour, I dealt with a lot of more anxiety attacks and panic attacks, and I'd never experienced that before ever in my life. And I'd heard like people came up to us and talked to us before. I just never understood it. And so having to do that and then go play shows and go talk to people for hours and put that smile on your face and be happy and excited, and then go back to the bus, get 2 hours of sleep, get up and do the same thing again. It was a lot, and it put a lot on my body. I was also doing college. I was dual enrolling in college and doing high school, and I was editing. I was editing for 2 people, so I was editing for us, GFM, and then me, my Ludawissy stuff. And it was a lot. It was a lot on my little body. And so we got home from that tour, and I never felt rested. And I noticed that I was starting to not feel okay ever. I wasn't able to live around it. I was like, oh, I'm like constantly not okay. Like this, this is odd. And it was bringing up a lot of issues, and I was noticing a lot of issues like with my health, and it was getting really bad. And I was like, I'm okay. I can do it. And then I had a friend that I had met online through gaming and stuff, and they kept pushing me like, hey, you should like go get this checked out. Like, you, the way you talk, like you laugh about it, but it don't seem all right, homie. And I was like, bruh, I'm fine. But I ended up doing more tours, and we played a bunch of shows. Actually, this year we played the most shows we've ever played in a year. And we had booked another tour for fall, and we had been on like 3 or 4 tours this year, and it was the last tour of August, I believe. We were out, and I was dealing with the most anxiety I have ever felt, ever. And it was getting to the point where I couldn't even play on stage. I felt very bad too, because I was like, I can't even put on a show for these people. I'm not able to put on like a good show. I'm not able to drum well. Like, I feel bad. And I was like, I can't even sit at the merch table because I just get so anxious. And I would just sit in the car and have panic attack after panic attack to an anxiety attack, back to a panic. Like, it was really rough. And I was like, my heart's starting to hurt. Like, I am not okay. Like, I am an anxious wreck. And so I actually was suggested to see the therapist / counselor. I don't know what she's classed as. Earlier this year. And I was like, no, because of the experience with the first person. And this time I was like, I have no choice. Like, I'll do anything. Like, please, I'm struggling, please. And so I went and saw her. And I didn't want to. at first. I was like, this is going to be so stupid, and it's going to just be the same thing, and I hate it. Showed up, and I left, and I was like, oh, I love this woman so much. She really, truly, I believe God sent her into my life, and she truly did save my life. Once again, God provided another miracle. It was like, boom, you're staying on this earth a second time. Got him. You really think you can leave? No, but for real, he truly did send me a little angel into my life, and she actually went through a lot of the things I went through, and so she's able to point me in directions that I've never heard, and help me deal with a lot of things, and point out things that I never knew were wrong or were odd. I was like, everyone deals with that. She's like, no, they don't. Like, bro, listen to me. I am a professional. So it was a couple months ago that I started seeing her, and my life did a complete 180. And she was able to help me a lot, help me in the directions of ADHD, because everyone was like, oh, you're diagnosed with anxiety, do this, this, and this. And I was like, dude, you don't understand. Like, it's not just that. Like, yes, it is part that, but I need help with other stuff too. And so she was able to help me with my ADHD. And it was really cool to have someone listen about my mental health and validate it and be like, yeah, that is, yes, this. And I was like, I feel so validated, and I feel so just listened to. And like, I'm not crazy, because I just felt crazy. I was like, what is wrong with me? I have a great life. I go on tour. I come home. I sleep. I stream. I play video games. I'm vibing. What is wrong with me? And it's actually really cool. And I don't know if I'll make a episode just about this. I think it'd be pretty neat. But she actually discussed with me how I didn't deal with emotional or physical abuse, but I have trauma in my life due to hearing people's stories growing up. Like I started playing shows at 7, and from there on have heard countless and countless of stories of people all the way to age like 80. Like I've heard so many people's stories, and people have just trauma dumped onto me, and there was never that boundary from me of like, hey, like I don't know, I can't hear this right now. Like I would love to pray for you and point you in a direction of someone who is trained to listen and hear this, but I physically am not in the mental place to hear this. So I don't blame anyone for my issues, but she's like, you have trauma in your life because you heard all these stories. You were people's therapist at age 10. Like you were a therapist your entire life without knowing how to deal with it or process it or any of that, and your brain just kind of took it as it was developing. It was like, okay, this is us, this is us, this is us. And so it's really neat to go through it with her and talk to her about it and have her help me, like, hey, this is how we deal with this, and relearn things that I've never even been taught. Like it truly is so enlightening to speak with her. And she sees me as like an adult, which is cool too, because most people are like, oh, you're 18, let me talk to you like you're a baby. And it's like, bro, you don't understand. I have lived like a 40-year-old's life. Like when I say that, I'm not joking. Like I have lived a very, very quick and fast life. I'm literally about to graduate from college at 18. Like I have rushed and lived a lot of life. And so it's cool to talk to her about it and have her opinions on, hey, this is like what we should go through, how we can reteach your brain certain things, take back control of your brain, take back control of your life, make it yours, make your decisions. Like you're an adult, you need to make these decisions. You need to learn how to drive. You need to learn how to do things on your own and be independent. And it's been really cool. And I noticed that just talking with her and medication and just a lot of other things, as well as deepening my relationship with God. And I had never gotten away from God like I had before, but being even stronger in the Word, like actually reading it, not just skimming through it, like studying it, learning through it, talking to God constantly, going to God, fasting to God, surrounding myself with people from the church, being involved in the church. It all really, really affected and helped me do a complete 180 with where I was at mentally. And I even I know this doesn't sound like a lot for a lot of people, but if you deal with mental health issues, you will be like, oh, I'm so proud of her. um I have gone 8 days without having a panic attack or an anxiety attack, and not letting the anxiety control me, and not letting it just sit there and take over. And for me at this time, like that's a huge accomplishment. Like I haven't done that in years. Like that is a huge accomplishment for me, and I'm so proud of myself. And it is another reason why I'm so open about mental health, because I want people to know, like, you're not weird if you deal with it. It doesn't matter what age you are, you're not weird if you deal with it. You're not odd, you're not alone. Like it's real. If you break your foot, you don't just go, well, that's a broken foot, there it is, let me keep running. No, you go to the doctors, they fix it, cast it up. It takes time to heal and recover, and then you slowly start using it again, So it is truly, it needs to be seen like that, Mental health doesn't need to be scary or like, shh, don't talk about that like that. We don't talk about those issues. Like, at least with me and my community, I don't want it to be that. I want you guys to be like, oh, she's real. Like, she deals with that stuff. It's not like, I don't know. It's just cool to be able to talk about it and it not be such a big deal. It's cool to be able to talk about it as if it's a normal thing, because it is. And so that's kind of been my journey with Christ and mental health growing up, and how it's affected my life and where I'm at. Kind of finished kind of about me. It's a little like dark stuff kind of my life, but it not only adds to my humor, it also adds to how I can help people. So, and I can now help people good for me and what is healthy for me. I now know the boundaries to put up and where to point people, so that I'm not trying to be their therapist when I'm not trained to be one. I will say, I mean, there's some other things that happened this year. I had a video hit 3.8 million views on TikTok during the Hurricane Ian. and it really boosted my Twitch stuff and my Ludawissy brand in general. And that was super, super, super cool. I cried on stream, which I promised myself I'd never do. I had the most viewers I've ever had. I think there's like 300 or 400 people watching. And yeah, the video hit over millions of views, which is crazy to say. And it was honestly just like inner kiddo me. It's another thing I talked about with her. She was like, you need to heal your inner kiddo. Like, give yourself your childhood. Allow your kid to not work and just be what it wants to be. And so the inner kiddo that loved content creating and loved entertaining people, putting a smile on people's faces, and streaming was like, whoa, like no way. So that was honestly like one of the greatest moments ever, to see that many people come in and support me and be there for me. And I even, a fun little fact, had been praying that, you know, God, I want to do streaming, obviously. Like, this is a big want of mine. And if it's your will, like for my life, if it's the best decision you think I should do and you think it's healthy for me, just bless it and allow it to happen, and allow it to be obvious that like this is where my life should go. And even as it got closer to our 1 year, our goal was to hit 1K followers on Twitch, and we were not close. We were at like 800, and I had like a week left maybe. And I was like, all right, yeah, we're probably not gonna hit it unless anything like huge happens. I said that the night before as well. I legit was like, unless anything huge happens, I'm not hitting it. And so I was praying, God, I was like, please, I just want you to bless it if it's meant to be. And I know I really want to hit 1,000. It's not about the followers. Legit, it is just about like, I do know I need to make a form of money to live. I don't want to be the richest person alive. I would just like to be able to live in an apartment, you know, and afford Wi-Fi. Like it is, we do have to make money somehow. And then that happened. And you can call it a coincidence. You can call it God. You can call it luck. I'm going to say it as it is. My God put his hand on it and blessed it and said, hey, Lou, eyes on me. You got this. Like, I'm guiding you through your life. I've literally allowed people to come in. I've introduced you to people, some of my bestest friends online that I should have never met ever, because it doesn't make sense how I met them, that have helped me. And my counselor, like my therapist, and the people that have helped me with my medication and actually getting like my ADHD to where I can focus and function. And with my stream stuff, my Ludawissy stuff, collabs that should never have happened. Like even with Mr. Chris, like he's such a busy person, and he let me know like, hey, just let me know when and I'll make it happen. And I'm like, my God put his hand on it and is blessing it and helping me in life and pointing me where to go. And I definitely don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. I'm 18, dude. Like, hello? But it's obvious that he's like, hey, go do this, go do this, go do this. And it's really cool. And that's why I'm so loud about God. And I know some people probably find it obnoxious and are like, that's not for me. And that's cool. That's dope. Like 100%, it is your life. You get to choose what you do and believe. I just personally find it as like, if I loved Takis, I'd always talk about Takis, you know? Because like they're Takis. Takis aren't bad, but not my favorite. Anyways, I love God and what God has done for me. He saved my life more than once, and he has improved my life so much, and I don't know what I'd do without him. So why would I not talk about him, you know? I don't ever want to shove it down someone's throat, but it has played a huge impact on my life. So it will be a common topic here. But just know that if you don't believe in God or you aren't sure about it, like, you're still welcome here. You're still welcome to listen. Like, I don't want you to think that I'm like, if you don't believe in God, you cannot stay here. You have to go out. Like, I don't even know why I said it like that, but like, that's not how I view it. If you don't believe in God, it's okay. Come hang out. That's fine. Just like if you don't like talkies, you can still come and watch and listen and join the streams and all that. So I just kind of want to put that out there, because I've talked about it a lot in my streams. Doesn't matter what you believe, who you are, you're welcomed in. We're all going to disagree or agree sometimes, you know? We don't always agree 100%. And that's okay, as long as we're both respectful. I make it a very big point to be respectful to others. If I mess up, I make it a point to be like, hey, that's on me. Like, I take authority of my actions, and I'm sorry, and let me try to do better. And that's all I ask, is just in return, we all just respect each other. But it's been really cool to see how God's worked in my life. And I've even been able to help a lot of people who deal with anxiety. I know a lot of people who watch the stream have been like, it's really cool to hear you open up about your anxiety, because I deal with this, and this, and it's really helped me. And I think it's really cool that God's given me an opportunity in a healthy way to continue to help people, because I know touring and being on the road, it just destroys my mental health to be 100% with you, and it puts me in places that are very dark for me. And so being home is my safe place, and streaming is more than fulfilling for me, and being able to still help people, because I literally, like, I just want to help people smile. I just want to help people have a good time, laugh, be themselves, like, be okay to be you is something it's huge for me, because growing up, I got bullied for being who I was. I got told to shut up. I got told to do this or that, be this or that. And now I'm just like, be you guys. Like, I want a space for that. I want a community where people just feel comfortable and they feel a part, because that's another thing of growing up. I never felt like I was a part of something. I always just felt like alone and weird, and like no one ever is gonna like me. And so being able to have a community, the little Ludawinis, where we all just come together and we're all a bunch of weirdos together. Sometimes I'm a potato, sometimes I'm myself. We rave, we dance, like, and that's just stream. Let alone my YouTube, where I just create content about lifting, or I'm even starting stuff on calisthenics and just healthy eating. And I love healthy and fitness. I said healthy and fitness, one in the world. I love healthy lifestyle, my healthy lifestyle and fitness, and it's a huge part. I love lifting. I got super into it and super into maxing out my weight and stuff. So I think that's been really cool to be able to have a space to talk about that. And drumming, I love drumming, so it's a huge part of my life. So being able to do drum cams even at the house is a huge thing for me. So it's just been nice to be able to be me without makeup. Like, I'm doing I'm doing a podcast without makeup. Growing up, that wasn't a thing. Like, you know, with the band, you wear makeup. You're this big, like, star. You dress cool and you wear makeup. And I'm like, I'm 18. I don't want to do that. Like, I'm here with no makeup. I'm in my My Hero Academia anime shirt, sitting in front of my ball of a bunch of gaming, nerdy, anime crap. Not crap. It's cool. I personally really like it, and I'm just chilling. I'm just being me. And that's all I really want to do, is have a space to be me, be myself, stutter, say, like, the amount of pressure I was under growing up to be perfect. Don't say, look the people in the eye, look this certain way, dress this certain way, act this certain way, play perfectly, put on a perfect show, go talk to people. Like, I just want to be me. I just want to be me. I want to share the love of Christ that I have, because I just feel like I have so much love from God that I've been given, that I'm nothing but forced to give it. Like, it's overspilling. Like, I have so much joy that I just want to give to other people. I want other people to smile. I want other people to be like, I just can't help but, like, smile when I watch the streams or when I listen to the podcast. You know, I want to make people's days and have them just feel a part, dude. It's a huge thing. I keep saying it, but it is just such a huge deal for me, for Ludawissy, the brand, to be a place where people, I feel like I'm safe to be me here. I feel like I can be myself. I can talk about my new job I got, or talk about some issues I'm having, like, with a friend, and people will be here to give me advice. Or if I'm just feeling lonely, like, I can pop in and people will be there for me. So it is something that's, I don't know, it's a huge dream of mine, and it's something that my inner kid always wanted. And to be able to adventure into this world, even with podcasting and talk. Little me used to host her own little shows in her brain. Like, if people heard me, they'd be like, you are a psychopath. Not a killer, just a psychopath. I always talk to myself, and you never know, but I'm an introvert. I'm a huge introvert. I don't like talking to anyone, really. When I go out, my head is down. I've been trying to put a smile on my face and be positive light, because I want to be this in the world as well, and not just online. But I'm working on it. People scare me. I'm still an anxious person. Like, it didn't just poof go away. Like, I still deal with it. But I feel like online I can just be myself, and it's opened me up so much, and I've come out of my shell. I am still a turtle. I'm still turtling sometimes, After I finish this is a lot of talking. I'm gonna go sit on my bed and chill. Maybe watch some anime. I've been watching one. Dude, he literally started out as a normal kid. Then he went out with a girl. Then she almost killed him, kind of half naked. I almost exited out. But I stayed because I was like, maybe it's not bad, but I watch it through my fingers. She almost killed him. She was a ninja the whole time. Figure out his whole family was a ninja. Then he goes to a ninja school. Then there's demigods. And then there's people it's really sick. So I might watch that. But yeah, I'm an introvert, and it's nice to be able to just be myself. And sometimes on stream, or not with the podcast, because I feel like if I just get quiet on podcast, you'd be like, well, this is awkward. But sometimes on stream, I'm just quiet and people are like okay with it. And I'm sure there will be podcast episodes where I'm not this like energetic. I don't know where this energy came from, but sometimes I might just be chill and be sleepy. And I literally would think it would be funny if I recorded one from my bed and was just chilling with you guys. Because it's just, I'm okay to be me. If I want to be energetic, I can be energetic. If I want to just be quiet, I can be quiet. And same goes for you guys. I know we can't physically speak at the same time with this podcast, but if you guys want to talk about something, just let me know. And love to talk about it. I want to include you guys in the show, whether it's your guys' stories or just advice and stuff. So I'm just very grateful. And I think that, a word that would encompass this entire year together for me would be just gratefulness. I'm grateful that I went through what I did, as much as it sucked, because I learned. I learned a lot about myself and those around me and who I want to be and what I want to do in life and being independent. And very grateful for the community that I've grown and that you guys have joined and created. And I'm grateful for the opportunities I've been given and just everything that God has placed in my life, the people he's placed in my life. I'm just very grateful. And it's only up from here, mentally, physically, spiritually, everything. It's only up from here. And I really just am grateful for you guys. And if you weren't told today, thank you. Just thank you for being alive, because you being here, listening with me, I'm grateful for. So thank you. Thank you for being alive. Thank you for being here with me. And yeah, I think that kind of encompasses who I am. I probably missed a bunch, and I'm that type of person that's going to sit in bed and be like, oh, I forgot that very important moment of my life and I didn't share it. So if I remember that, I'll write it down and talk about it next time. And be like, guys, okay, before we start, I just gotta let you know, I remembered this very, like, I didn't even talk about my guinea pigs. All right, next time, guys, next time we'll talk about it. People are like, yeah, guinea pigs, get me off this, dude. This girl's a loser. But yeah, I'm sure there's stuff I missed that I can talk about at another time. But I think that wraps up what I have for now, because I don't know, it's just, this is who I am. This is who you're listening to. She's been through a lot, but she's also done a lot. So, it evens out. And she's happy now. That's what matters. She is happy. She's thriving. She's learning. Although she still deals with anxiety, she is still living and thriving and loving the life she lives. And that's what matters. It doesn't matter if you're perfect or you don't deal with anything. It matters that you're still living and you're still enjoying it and you're still pushing on. So I know we end our time together with how many punches we can do in 15 seconds. I'm not gonna leave it out. I'm gonna try every time, because I just gotta get better each time. So I'm gonna get the 15 seconds ready. All right, I got 15 seconds. I'm gonna count myself. I don't want to punch my thingy majiggy. All right, ready. Here we go. Does this start it? And start. Oh, I can't count. How do people count this? I don't even know. Okay. Oh. That was a lot. Bro, why is my heart rate like actually racing? I don't know how many that was. I don't know how people count, dude. That might have been more than like 40. I don't know. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Whether you're here from stream, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, or you just found us on any random site. Thank you so much. Welcome in. You're a Ludawini now. Make sure you follow me at Ludawissy everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. We have a Discord as well if you want to join the community. If hearing about the community is something you'd like to be a part of and you're like, hey, that sounds really dope and I want to join them, come on in. Welcome in. You're welcome. Hi. You sounded like, wait. Yeah, just kidding. Make sure you keep an eye out for new LudaCast episodes. Right now, it's every other Tuesday, and it might become every Tuesday in the future. I just want to make sure I'm good mentally and not burn myself out, because that is a huge thing for me that I'm making a priority. So I'm proud of myself, because I don't sit every Tuesday, and I was like, you might burn out, and then you won't like it anymore. So make sure you take care of yourself. So if you have a goal for this week, make it be to prioritize your health, because you are important and you need to do that. So do it. And we'll come back next time. And if you haven't prioritized your own health, there's going to be consequences. I don't know what they will be, but they will be. And I'll figure it out before then. So thank you guys so much. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast and become a Ludawini. Leave a 5-star rating and review, but don't be a meanie. And remember that you are always a queenie. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Oi, oi, oi. Yeah.